Sometimes in the farm you just need a refreshment. And, we used to get some really nice natural pops with just cane sugar and no artificial crap and, um, you know, good products in them. Can't get them anymore. So I just pulled the box out here of our Drinkmate just so you can kind of see the box. We make our own sodas now to the best of our ability. We're using the syrups here, and we're using a CO2 cartridge that's food grade that gets put into the Drinkmate in the back side of it here. You know, it is still not quite the same as a professional soda pop, but it's still a pretty nice way of doing it. And this way, we're getting syrups that only have cane sugar in them and natural fruit juices and stuff in them. There's no sodium benzenate. There's no aspartame, no phytourics, no heavy corn syrups, no high fructose corn syrup, stuff like that. I like to use this brand. I'm going to do root beer today. I got blood orange, I got a peach, I got a cola, I've got a blackberry and a raspberry. So these are the flavors that we can make here on the farm. And typically what I do is I get a measuring cup and I do mine at about 3 ounces per batch. So if you look on the drink made bottles here, these are larger bottles. There's the 28 ounce line or the 850 ml line. I'm going to use that with 3 ounces of the syrup, especially when I do the old fashioned root beer, and then I'm gonna make the soda that way. Now everybody can do this different. You can put less in, you can put more carbonation in, less carbonation in. You can mix flavors, like you can put raspberry and peach and have peach raspberry soda. Again, it's just preference. So here I got about 3 ounces of, again, the old fashioned root beer. I'm going to pour it in. And again, when you do this and you're making it for yourself or making it for a family, you might need to do several. So for my family, we do 2 full bottles on a Sunday afternoon, and then we'll enjoy them on Sunday night. My kids actually have a couple kids over this weekend, and they're enjoying the farm too. They come from a great family, so I'm probably going to make both bottles for sure of it so that everybody can have some soda and enjoy it. And what I'm doing is basically I've got the 3 ounces of syrup, and I'm going to fill it right up to the 28 ounces with good cold water. And then I'm going to just at that point refrigerate it and get it cold. Now you could make the soda right then and there, and then pop it free, pour it over ice. But the root beer has a thicker head to it when I make it with this syrup, because it's an old-fashioned root beer, and because of that, I like it to be cold. I think it does a better job of taking in the CO2 and getting the fizz that I like. So here I'm just making sure I've got the right level of it. Some people ask on the syrup how many doses or batches can you make, and I can tell you that I think I get one, two, three. I think I get about 8 bottles, maybe 9 out of it. So I get a fair amount, for the cost of the product. I've got a restaurant specialty account set up, and I buy it by the case, the syrup, so I get 4 in a box, and I keep it down in my bar. It lasts a long time. So once I've got it made up, I just put the cap on it, stick it in the fridge, and let it get cold. So I've made 2 of these up. Again, 3 ounces of the old fashioned, and the rest all the way up to the 28 ounces with water. And now it's been cold for about 4 hours. So I take it out. As you can see, it looks pretty flat. There's a little bit of bubbliness to it just because of the syrup. But again, there's no CO2 in this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Drinkmate here, push the button on the top when I'm ready, and I'm going to inject the carbonation into it. And then when I'm done with that, you could go right to serving it. In my case, I'm going to put it back in the fridge, and then I'll serve it out later tonight. So I'm just going to open up the cap. I'm going to take out the Drinkmate. You kind of tip it towards you, and then you slide it out. It's a little tricky to do one-handed here, sorry. And then it just kind of goes down and locks on. And then what the silver button is on top is an air vent, and underneath it, there's a really fast air vent in blue. So you stick this back in here, and then you tip it in. and then you push it and put your carbonation in. You've got to take little breaks, or it's going to blow the bubbles up the top and escape your device. I like a 5-second push, but not continuously. So 1/1000, and then I'll do it again, 2/1000. I'm letting it settle a little bit. 3/1000, let it settle again a little bit. 4/1000, I let it settle a little bit, and then 5/1000. And this makes a really thick, nice carbonated head. I do enjoy this. If you don't want it so carbonated, don't put so much in, folks. You don't like it so syrupy, don't like it so thick of a root beer, put less syrup in. You can kind of play with it. Once I get it like this, I just tap it up on the air vent. You can see the bubbles come up to the top. I don't keep going or it's going to put bubbles out the top of my Drinkmate. So then I stop, I wait a few minutes. I'm just tipping in here so you can see it a little bit and see how thick the carbonation bubbles are. And then I vent it a little more. I have to vent this over maybe a minute or two, and then it'll be vented enough where I can take the top off and put the cap on, throw it back in the fridge, let it stay good and cold, let that carbonation really set up into the beverage, and then it's ready to pour in the evening. Now, because it's an old-fashioned root beer, I'll probably get about an inch ahead on this when I do it. You know, for some people, that's, you know, too much. For other people, it's really good. I personally like that thick, heavy head. But again, if you don't like that, again, you don't have to carbonate it so much. When you do like a peach or a raspberry, you could do the 5/1000 count like I just did, and you won't get near the head because it's not as thick of a syrup. See the blue button there? If you push that blue button down, it really vents fast. So I'm pushing it down, and again, there's no pressure inside the bottle. It's completely empty. So now I can take it off, put the other cap back on it, and then into the fridge it goes. The main device of the drink well, you don't wash, but you can wash that top piece because, again, it gets sticky with the syrups and stuff on it, so that you can wash. Take this, I'm just going to stick it in the fridge, and it'll be ready to serve out at dinner time. And then I'm going to go back and do the other one. The kids really like this because obviously it becomes a treat. The nice thing is, too, is I found that not having soda pop much in the house, we're not attracted to just grab it any old time of the day and drink too much pop. Because this takes a little bit of effort, it's much more of a planned event. And I do like it because we get to play with the flavors a bit. So again, I'm going to do the 1/1000. I'm going to do the 2/1000. I'm going to do, again, the same thing I did with the other one, 3/1000. I'm going to do another one here. It will be 4/1000. And then I'm going to do my 5/1000. I'm having some pauses in between. And then I'm done. I'm just going to try to get it vented out. Once I get it vented out, I'm going to put it in the fridge. It's going to be nice and cold. I think my favorites right now are the Orange Blood, which is my orange pop, and my raspberry and peach put together, 1.5 ounces of each, and the old-fashioned root beer. Now, again, the old-fashioned root beer gets a really thick head. I'm going to show that in a minute, the way I'm making it, and I really enjoy that. I think it's cool. I think it's delicious, and I like it. There are different syrup companies out there. Folks, beware though. Some have some really weird sugars in them. Some have, you know, the stevia in them and the sucralose, and maybe those sugars are fine, but I still don't want them. I just wanted natural products that I recognize and that I feel comfortable with. So for me, this company does a really good job. I'm not really trying to push their product, but it is one that works really well for my family. Here I'm venting it again. You can see as I do that, it's now ready for me. I'm just pushing the blue one, make sure it's completely empty. And because of the sake of the video, I'm going to take my cold one. I'm going to pour that and, you know, enjoy some root beer here for you guys. Then I'll save the rest for my family here tonight. The syrups last a really, really long time, which is good. I haven't had any problem with the syrups going bad. And like I said, it makes a good product. So I just got a cold glass here with some ice on it. I got my old-fashioned root beer bottle here to show you the flavor I'm using. And I'm going to take some of this out of the fridge. It's been in there now about maybe a couple hours. As you can see, it's still got some carbonation bubbles on it, but not a ton. Now, for sake of argument, when I took the last ones out and I kind of shook them, nothing showed up on top. I'm going to shake this one a little just so you can see what kind of head it gets on it. Look at that thick, fine, dense, bubbly head. Now, if I shook it too much, I'd have a hard time opening it and pouring it. But it's amazing how much head this stuff gets on it. Such a simple machine of just injecting it in. But that's what you want. You want it throughout the product, okay? So I'm basically now going to just open this up and I'm going to pour it. I'm going to let it sit for maybe, I don't know, a minute or so that the head comes to the top on it. It's wonderful. It's rich. If you kind of like that, heavier sarsaparilla taste with a real good head on it, I think you'll really enjoy this old-fashioned root beer. And I think this is a good way to have a treat with the kids. It's a good way to be healthier by keeping more of the sodas in the store and not in your house where you're just going to be, tempted to grab them and drink them more often because of convenience. And I think it becomes a real treat for the family. So as you can see here, it's all done. I've got my old-fashioned syrup there, to which I made a classic root beer soda out of using the Drinkmate. Folks, I hope you enjoyed my recipe here. I hope you give this a try. Save yourself some money and not be buying pop all the time. I think it's a good way of doing it. Thanks.